What's going on? Back again. Draft is over. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a good time. I apologize for not making a mock draft. I just didn't get around to it, and that's my fault. So I apologize for that. However, I promise you a post-draft video, and bang, here it is. The Bills, I thought, had a magnificent draft. In summary, they addressed needs at every position. They took. I don't think they had a really stupid pick in the draft. I thought they were getting value, and filling needs with every pick. Like at no point were you like, oh wow, that's kind of a head scratcher. Maybe in the third round, but we'll talk about that. Let's start in the first, where they took Gilmore, corner from South Carolina. Now, in the days leading up to the draft, I figured he was going to be the pick. And I'm not stroking myself, okay? I look at my Twitter. It's the same as my YouTube name. That's my handle. I got tweets about Gilmore prior to the draft beginning. So there, in your face, haters. But I like Gilmore. The more film I was watching, or like highlights and draft video, I suppose you could say, I was watching him. I liked him as a player. I thought he was, and he looks angry on the field with those dreadlocks. I don't know, maybe that's part of it. He looks like a prototypical football player to me. Don't read into the look he had on his face as he got drafted. That seriously means nothing. Don't read into that. He didn't look excited to come here, whatever. And you know what? Nick Mendola on audiobuffalo.com, which is a terrific, what's the word? Like podcast website. Nick Mendola brought up a good point, and maybe he thought he was going to go to Carolina at 9 because Carolina needed a corner. He's from South Carolina. Maybe he just moves up. He's from Rock Hill, which is right on the border of North Carolina almost. He's just going to roll up a little bit and go to Charlotte or wherever the Panthers play. Raleigh, I'm not even sure. And play, close to his hometown in Carolina. So maybe he was a little bit disappointed that Carolina didn't take him. He'll be fine. He'll be fine here. He'll step in right away because McKelvin's in the contract year. Florence has a couple years left, but I don't know how much he'll play. McGee will be hurt by drive 3 against the Jets. Let's face it. Aaron Williams will play. But Gilmore doesn't have to be a day one starter, but he's going to get time. And I think he'll be effective. Very good man coverage. Very good tackler. He was the player they needed at 10. Not Michael Floyd. Not only will Michael Floyd spend way too much time downtown on the weekends, but the Bills they don't need that receiver, that high pick wide receiver, unless it was Blackman. They just don't need him. It goes against, sort of their offensive philosophy. Chan Gailey just gives guys chances to make plays, regardless of who you are, and you just have to make them when your number's called. So you don't need that, that high-profile wide receiver, unless it maybe is the best one available, like Blackman, but he wasn't going to fall. Would have been cool if he did, though, or interesting at least. So yeah, like I said, happy with Gilmore. You should be. He's going to be a solid player. He's going to wear number 27. I think, at the very worst, he's just solid. That's, to me. I don't think he has, bust potential written on him. At the very worst, he's just going to be a guy who starts week in, week out. A guy you can rely on. Not to make ridiculous amounts of plays. Like a Terrence McGee. Minus the injury proneness. That's a word. Okay, so we get Gilmore. We come back second round next day. Cordy Glenn is still there at 41. Like, he was, I think Kuiper had him as like the 14th best player. Mayock wasn't as high on him, and Mayock, a lot of people like Mayock a little bit more than Kuiper. Mayock doesn't think that Cordy Glenn can transition to tackle. Maybe he's right, but the Bills certainly going to try. Mayock doesn't think he has tackle feet. I think he has pretty good feet for a guy who moves, for a guy that's that size. He's huge. Might be more suited for right tackle or guard, but I think the Bills are going to try him at left tackle. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Maybe you move him inside. That's literally the worst that could happen. I think he's a solid player. Like, just an absolute steal at 41st overall. Seemed like a no-brainer, too. It's like you knew the Bills. Because, I mean, we all knew the Bills had a lot of interest in Cordy Glenn. And when he was available in the second round, like, no-brainer. Like that little smoke screen by Buddy Nix, too. I think it was the day before the second round, or the day of. He was asked who his best player remaining on the board is. It was Jonathan. He said Jonathan Martin. Probably trying to distract people from Cordy Glenn. Jonathan Martin was still on the board with Cordy Glenn. He went after, but I did think that was kind of amusing. So bang, right away we get this impact corner. We get the lineman we need. Third round rolls around, and some people are freaking out because we take this receiver who might be graded in like the 7th round, T.J. Graham. Like, shut up. Just because of what Kuiper grades him or Mayock grades him doesn't mean, like, that's typical third round analysis from social media fans, if you will. Like, oh my God, this is a terrible pick by the Bills. Stupid. They could have got this guy so much later. You might be right, but just because he's a guy you never heard of, and then there's a guy on Kuiper's top 10 available, we should take him because he's on Kuiper's top 10 available. No, it doesn't work that way. They scouted. Don't worry. They scouted, not you. Kuiper did too, but why does he work for ESPN then? Does a good job. They like him. But if he was really that good of a talent scout, wouldn't he have a job in an NFL team? I don't know if he's ever been offered one. But, like, why doesn't that make news? Does he just love what he does? I could go off on a Kuiper rant, too. I'm not going to do that. Back to my point. Just because you haven't heard of the guy doesn't mean he's garbage. Doesn't mean it's a reach. Might have been. But it doesn't mean it's a terrible pick. T.J. Graham isn't going to wow anybody. He's not going to go over the middle and catch passes down the hashes like David Nelson. He is the Roscoe Parrish replacement. That's all he is. He's a burner, can stretch the field, hopefully pull some safeties off, pull some corners off, let guys get open underneath. That's what he is. Not a great blocker, doesn't have good size, but he's a burner. That's what he is. And that's all it is. Marcus Easley's coming back, hopefully. The receivers are fine. We have David Clowney. Receivers are fine. 4th round, Nigel Bradham. Anybody? First of all, the guy's built like Patrick Willis. I saw the picture, I was like, holy crap. This guy is huge. Hopefully he turns into Patrick Willis, but he'll probably start as a special teamer. But either way, like, solid 4th round pick. 105th overall, you get a guy like that. I mean, first, like, look at it. I'm going to pull up the picture right now. Like, oh my God, he's huge. Said he has slow reaction time, athletic enough to recover in college, but will need to adjust in the NFL. That's fine. That sounds like your average 4th round pick. Effective blitzer. That's fine. That is a good 4th round pick. I don't really have much else to say about him. Other than, look, I mean, he is just huge. He'll get playing time. I mean, whether that's due to injury or whatnot, he'll see the field. Probably mostly on special teams. Anyway, we had another 4th-round pick, and that was Ron Brooks out of LSU. Now, think about Ron Brooks right now. He's a corner. He sat behind Patrick Peterson, Morris Claiborne. Those are 2 top 6 picks in the last 2 drafts. And Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, who might be a top 10 pick next year. I mean, those are pretty good guys to sit behind. He covered some good, he played, in the SEC, which is supposed to be the top-notch competition in college. Does he have 3 career picks, 3 career pick 6s? That's cool. Interesting player in the 4th round. Bills love adding corners. They added another one. They got a good one from a good school who sat behind good guys with a good coach. It's a good pick. Excited about Ron Brooks. I'm excited about all these guys. Listen to this. Zebri Sanders in the 5th round? Are you kidding me? If we took him in the 2nd, I would not have said anything. I'd be like, wow, good pick. Some people thought he could have gotten into the 1st. I don't know what made this guy fall. But in the 5th? I'm surprised we didn't take him before that. I don't know how. I guess the concern is his strength, but it can't be something. It has to be something else. The guy seems like just too good of a player. Like, obviously, we had to take him. We couldn't pass up on that. He's huge. 6'5", 320. Should be reliable. We needed tackles. We got a couple. Went to the 6th round, got, what's-his-face, we had another 5th-round pick. That's right, it was only 3 picks later. Tank Carter from TCU. This is all I have to say about Tank Carter. We got a linebacker named Tank in the 5th round. Sweet. That's just awesome. Of course you're taking a linebacker named Tank. Why wouldn't you? I mean, I feel like the Bills fans could have some sort of similar love affair. He's like the John Cordo or like the Josh Stamer of the Bills linebacking core right now. It's cool to have him. 6th round, Mark Asper, guard. Don't know much about him except he went to Oregon. Just filling that line. Getting reserves. Love it. Where have you been upset so far? Maybe at TJ Graham, but still. Just depth. Awesome. Like how they're not taking any impact offensive players. Other than Graham, there are like 3 linemen. It's like we're satisfied with where we are. We just need to keep guys upright, open some more holes for Jackson Spiller, keep Fitz on his feet. They bolster that defense up, keeping guys upright on offense, open and oh man. I love where this team is right now. Like in the 3rd year of Gailey too. Their guys are coming into their own. They're way more comfortable with the system. I'm just too excited right now. 7th round, can't forget John Potter, the kicker. Don't know why we took him. Actually, I do. Pretty much for his leg strength because the Bills want more touchbacks, would be my guess. Will they dress 2 kickers? I don't think so. Why can't Lindell just kick it 70 yards? We'll see. But 7th round, whatever. I don't have a problem with it. The 3rd last pick of the draft, John Potter, the kicker. Fine by me. Like I said, yeah, guys, I'm stoked about this draft. I feel like it's the best draft we've had in a long time. I feel like we didn't. Obviously, it's way too early to say we missed on that one. Or like, we hit on this one, we missed on that one. But on paper, it just looks like a great collection of players. Like a good collection of guys who can fill in holes. And the holes that are on this team, where were we thinking? Like a receiver, line, keep beefing up that defense, and that's what we did. We beefed up the defensive line in free agency. Now we're beefing up the corners with Brooks and Gilmore. Linebackers with Bradham, Carter. We still got Morrison, Shepard, Barnett. Defense is just, it looks so good. I just want to see it on the field, and it's so far away. Offense should be coming into their own again. Hopefully, if everyone stays healthy. I'm just excited, guys. I hope you're excited too. And if you came this far and watched the whole video, I appreciate it. Because this is a long video to just listen to me talk about the Bills. So you guys must really love them. But yeah, like I said, hit me up, Twitter. There's the handle. You know. Whatever, guys. I'll answer your questions. I'll do anything. I love the Bills. You love the Bills. And most of all, go Bills. See you guys later.